This is CS Divesh Goyal, practicing company secretary from Delhi. So today in this video, we are going to discuss on a latest amendment of the MCA. As you all are aware that MCA has changed their version from V2 to V3 version. Even for this version in last year, MCA have done some webinars also to make us understand about the V3 version. But the major thing is that last year MCA doesn't came with the V3 version, but now recently MCA had came with the V3 version for the LLPs. So LLPs के लिए अब MCA ने V3 version launch कर दिया है. V3 version practically MCA ने launch करना था 6 मार्च को, and we know कि last 2 or 3 days MCA was working on the V3 version. So finally V3 version has been launched. But as you know, this is a new version, so there will be lot of technical difficulties, lot of user difficulties. So with the time, with the phase, MCA will change those difficulties, MCA will resolve those difficulties. But for the right now, for the current scenario, we all have to work. We all the professionals have to work with these, we can say, these difficulties, these user difficulties or technical difficulties. So let me just show you the page of the, we can say, new version 3. So in this video, we are not going to discuss everything about the V3 because right now I'm not able to handle, we can say, use the MCA website properly because of some technical issue. MCA website is not working properly right now. So in this video, we will specifically discuss about the login. So जो इस video का main purpose है, जो actual purpose है, वो है login के लिए discuss करना. So as know, whenever we open the MCA website, mca.gov.in, in the right side at the above, here is the option of the sign in and login. So once we will click on the sign in and login, the window which is there on your screen, this window will be open. So now in this window, we have to, how we have to use. So if you will see this window on the right hand side, here it is mentioned about the welcome to MCA LLP filing and services. Earlier whenever we have to file, whether for the companies, whether for the LLP, we just have to log in and file the form. But now they make the differences here. As you can see, login for the LLP filing, login for the company filing. So now they made the differences between login of the LLP filings and the login of the company filing. So afterward, whenever you have to file any form with the MCA side, you first have to check whether you want to file for the company or whether you want to file for the LLP. If you want to file for the company, you have to click login on the company filing. If you want to file for the LLP, you have to click on the login for the LLP filing. This is the first thing about the login. Now the second thing, there is a question which I am receiving from so many professionals in our WhatsApp group, Gyan group, last 2 to 3 days, ki whether the old ID, whether the old login ID or password we can use for the login on the V3 portal. So first thing, if you having any old MCA login ID password for the company filing, you can use the same. There is no issue. We have tried that. But now the question arises, whether for the LLPs, whether for the login on the V3, whether we can use the old ID and password. So definitely right now MCA site is not working properly, so we are not able to try that. But as per the webinar organized by the ICSI, as per the discussion in the ICSI webinar, it was mentioned there by some technical person that you can definitely log in with the old ID password on the V3 version also. What you have to do in this column, you have to mention your old ID and old password, then you have to click on the login. Once you will click on the login, your old profile will be open. In that old profile, you have to click on the update to the business user. Once you will done that, then you can say your old ID password you can also use for the LLP filing also. Because this was discussed in the ICSA webinar, so I'm just sharing their thoughts and their views with you, all of you. Now the second thing arises, if you want to create a new ID, you don't have any old ID or you don't want to use the old ID. If you have to create a new ID, you have to click on the register. Once you will click on the register, you will find a new window and there will be 2 options. One is the registered user, other is the business user. If you want to log in, create a login only for filing of the run or Philip form. That is for the name approval and incorporation, then you can go for the registered user. But if you want to file the regular forms like we did in past, like LLP 11, LLP 8, LLP 3, 4, then you have to go for the business user. So you have to choose it wisely, whether you want to go for the business user or whether you want to go for the registered user. So this is all about the login, whatever we have understood till now. One more point I want to discuss with all of you. That point is relating to the associate of the DSC. As you are seeing the my MCA page on my this video, let's just read the language mentioned by the ministry. Stakeholder, please note that DSC association is a post login service in V3. V2 वर्जन में क्या होता था, whenever we have to associate the DSC, हमें login नहीं करना पड़ता था. It was not required to login for the associate registered DSC. But V3 version, as mentioned here, whenever you have to associate DSC, you have to log in the V3 version and then you have to associate the DSC. Now the second thing, user registration is mandatory for DSC association, as you have to it is mandatory to log in for the DSC association, so definitely you have to create a user registration. Next is the most important thing, multiple DSC association cannot be done using one user ID. If we interpret this line, so according to the interpretation of this line, multiple DSC association cannot be done using one user ID. According to that, एक user ID से multiple DSC associate नहीं हो सकते. According to that, according to this line, if we have to associate DSC while logging, then for each and every DSC you have to create different login. Hope we will get a clarification from the ministry on this statement. But as of now, this statement is mentioned on the MCA website, and according to this statement, from a one user ID you can associate only one DSC. So we know V3 version is totally new. There will be many things, and we will try our best to teach you on time to time about the V3 version. Whenever there will be any new thing in the V3 version, we will let you know about that version, and definitely we will create new videos. So if you have any query, any question till now, please mention in the chat box, mention in the comment box. We will try our best to resolve your query. Thank you so much. So in this video, we have discussed everything about the